Yeah,
All right, cool. Hey guys, I'm Kyle.
and I'm Jarrod.
Here we break down the real world ins and outs of healthy living, training, nutrition, mindset, and everything in between. If you learned something new or enjoyed the episode, make sure to like and follow us.
We'll be posting videos every week. Stick with us as we level up the editing, the topics, and the entire experience.
All right, let's get started. Oh, jeez, dude.
So that's today's episode about, Kyle.
Yeah, today's episode's about restarting your fitness journey after you've been off for a while, man. I mean, that's really a good conversation topic for our very first podcast, Jared, because I think that at some point in our lives, all of us have been in that position. I know for me personally, I have been very sporadic with my health and fitness throughout my life. I'm 43 years old. You know, growing up, I played sports. I played baseball in high school. So being fit and active was never an issue. But once I got out of high school and into my 20s and started getting a little bit older, my metabolism started slowing down a little bit and I wasn't exercising. I started to gain weight real fast. And I'm sure that alcohol probably played a major role in that as well.
Yeah.
But I think when I was about 20, close to 21, it was brought to my attention by one of my family members. My cousin was like, geez, Kyle, you're getting fat. And that really hit home with me, dude.
Yeah.
And so that was what prompted me to get um, back on my fitness journey in my earlier 20s. You know, life happens. You may fall off every once in a while, and then you got to find your way back. And that was kind of actually what happened to Megan and I when she and I first started dating before we got married back in like 2010, 2011. I was having a conversation with somebody the other day. We recently just did it wasn't a podcast, but we added it up or uploaded it to the YouTube channel. And it was for the Iron Rack, and it was Megan and I kind of interview style, get to know us. And one of the questions was similar to this, but different. And it was, what's your recommendation to people who want to get started? And my personal opinion is once you've got your mind made up and it's in there and you've looked in the mirror
Mm-hmm.
and you know that it's time to do something because that's not the person you like staring back at you. The first
Yeah.
step is just follow through. That was my follow through. You know, in your head, you need to do something, follow through with it because it's very easy to say, you know what, I'm going to start that next week. And then again, life happens and you don't end up taking that first step and walking through the gym.
Right. So many people want to wait for the New Year's resolution, that 1st of January, or after my birthday, or next year, or when I turn 35, or when I turn 40. And it's just when you set a goal that far ahead in the future, so much can happen. Worse habits can kick in. You drag your feet a little bit more. You realize, oh, I'm not dead yet. That wasn't so bad. Well, here's the day I'm supposed to start. Well, nothing really that bad happened last time. So let's push it back a little bit further. And you just keep picking up the stone and throwing it, and you never actually pick it up and do what you need to do with it.
Yeah. No, and so, you know, being a gym owner now for almost 3 years, people will go onto the website and they will take the time to fill out like an intake form to come have a consultation. And then they'll even take the time to schedule that consultation. And the intake form isn't lengthy, but it's going to take you about, like, if you go to the website and you're like, man, I want to go talk to somebody about training. It's the process from clicking and filling out the intake form and then setting up the actual appointment takes about 10 minutes. So it's not like thoughtless. Like you've already been on the internet, you found a gym, you clicked. And so what I'm getting at is you know, in your head, a change needs to take place.
Right.
And I can't tell you, well, I mean, I can tell you, I would say probably 9 out of 10 times within the day before or the day of, 2 or 3 days after they've set up that appointment to come into the gym, they send me a text message with some kind of excuse. Oh, something happened at work or something happened with this or that, blah, blah, blah. When I say, well, okay, cool. Well, you know, let's reschedule what time works best for you or what day works best for you. Then
Nothing.
you start to get the runaround or
Right.
you get ghosted.
Right.
So take the first step, man. I mean, you know, if you walk into a gym and you have filled out a link or a form for personal training, yes, they're going to try to sell you on personal training, but you're not obligated to do anything at that time. You already know that you need to make a change. Go to the gym, walk through the door, have the conversation, and just get the ball rolling, dude. Don't back out. Just do it. You're gonna
Yeah.
be happy. 3 months later, a year later, you're gonna be like, "Damn, I should have just did that last year, and I would already be so much further along in the process than I am now, thinking about it again."
So yeah, getting started is definitely going to be, that's the first physical move you could make. Just like you said, I've had similar experiences. I've picked up clients in the past or friends in the past, family members even that they're like, "Oh, you've done the journey. I want to do it too." Everybody gets gung ho at one point or another. People tend to look in the mirror and hate what's looking back at them, or they just see progress, or they just, have one of those 3 a.m. in the middle of the night mental crises where they're going to get their life together tomorrow, and they reach out, but they don't follow through with it. So a lot of the times, with all of that happening, looking back, I've learned that it's a mental state you have to be in before you do take that first physical step. Something mental is it's blocking you, or you don't have the right motivation, or it's fear of gym intimidation, or
Mhm.
you're not around the right crowd that's fueling a desire. Because I know in the blue collar world, especially like at my job, I get picked on. I kind of get hazed a little bit for wanting to eat clean or wanting to exercise. I want to clock out a little bit early if we have nothing going on so I can get good gym time. And, I get picked on a little bit. And if I didn't already have these habits set in stone, it would be harder to start. So some of my advice would be, I've made a note here. It would be figure out what your motivation is.
Mhm.
I see it a lot. I've heard stories over the internet, and I have seen it with, in-laws before, where they decide to take that first step because it's something big to them, wanting to do activities with children, other family and friends, not feeling left behind.
Wow.
Going to the zoo, not needing to stop and take breaks every time there's a park bench, and then it's an all day event to walk a mile, or playing backyard football, playing catch with your kids,
Did
whatever it
did
may
you
be.
did you go watch the YouTube video already or what, man?
No, no, I didn't.
To begin with, so the genre that we work with, and the answer honestly was no. And the majority of my clients are actually like 55 years of age to freaking, 68 or 70. And I've got one dude that's 80 years old. But that was what Meg was saying, dude, was that like regardless of what your goal is, she really enjoys working with those clients because of they have found out they know what their why is. Their why is there to
Right.
be there for their family and their grandkids. It's yeah, they want to look good and lose weight also, but it's not like I mean, I hate to say it for you and me, it's probably more to look aesthetic, dude.
It's a
They
little
just
more vanity
want to be
there, but
healthy. So
yeah. So there's a story, and I cannot cite my resources on this one, but it was a man that had a real crazy transformation. He went from 600 pound man that, couldn't put his own shoes on in the morning. He out of breath doing the most basic things. And one day they were out at a river swimming, and, the current of the river took his grandchild. It was his grandchild or his child, and he couldn't do anything about it. And a stranger thankfully stepped in, and that was his wake up call, that I'm choosing food and laziness and things that make me feel comfortable, when if it wasn't for that stranger, if it was just me and my child, I wouldn't have my child anymore. And that
wow.
was his wake up call. Sometimes it's, a new parent realizing, when their brain rewires and they realize that they have somebody that they have to protect. It could be that motivates you. It could be general health concerns. You have a heart attack at an early age. I know my dad, he got on a pretty good kick there for a little while. He had his first heart attack at my age, at about 34. And he ended up hitting the gym, getting his steps in, was real careful on what he was eating. And then, yeah, some people a little more on the vain side, they go through a big breakup, or, they just take a look at their life and they're like, "Oh, I'm ready to date." And they either want that revenge body, or they feel like they're going to have a little more success in the dating game by taking care of their body. And it's just whatever it is, whether it's a real deep concept, or it's something that's just shallow and vain, whatever it is that'll motivate you to take that first step of just getting into the gym.
Yeah.
You got to figure out your why.
Yeah, I agree 100%, my friend. So Um, that's some good key points down.
So
So
once you figure out your why, your motivation, you go through that whole list, you take a real good look at yourself. Getting into the gym is the first physical step. What would you say to look for in a gym? Somebody scrolling, because you have big gyms, little gyms, you have people screaming, just make your own gym at home.
yeah.
What's something they should look for?
So first and foremost, it's convenience. Like it's location of the gym and like where it is in proximity to your house or work or along your path every day to get from home to work and work back to home.
Mhm.
I think that that is like very important, man. So like let's say here in McKinney, it's we're part of the DFW Metroplex. I mean, we're a suburb outside of Dallas. So let's say you had a friend that lives in like Allen. That could be a 20-minute drive. You live in McKinney, but your buddy's in Allen, and he's like, hey, man, get a membership at my gym and we'll be training partners.
Yeah.
Dude, you're committing, like in my opinion, you're setting yourself up already for long-term failure because of now the distance that you have to drive. So your buddy may be gung ho, hey, let's work out together. But what if he's like 3 years into his fitness journey and you can't keep up with him when you're at the gym? He's wanting you to do more complex moves. You should be
Mhm.
starting out at something simpler. So
Yeah,
because
because
you're already driving 20 minutes and now your buddy is like busting you, you're like, well, hell, this isn't even worth it, man. I'm already done.
so
So find
quality of
something close to you, and then I would say find a boutique gym like the Iron Rack. And here's why I say that. If you're someone that doesn't have anxiety and you do not have gym intimidation, then
Mhm.
then cool. Go to a big box or a big chain gym. But if
Mhm.
you're somebody like the majority of the personal training clients that I have that had never stepped foot in a gym, have never resistance trained, then find a smaller boutique style gym that is going to have a more family atmosphere, a more inviting atmosphere, and you're not going to have to worry about people in there judging you. That
Right.
does that make sense, bud?
No, it makes perfect sense. I agree with what you're saying. You don't want to travel 20 minutes or commit at the level that a more advanced friend has already committed to. You want to take a look at, your quality of life for the most part, Everybody wants to jump in super gung ho. I
Yeah.
did it, and you did it when you were trying to kickstart it again. That's why everybody, like I said, the 3 a.m. midlife crisis type thing. I'm going to get my life together tomorrow. You wake up, you do 500 push-ups and 1,000 squats, and you can't move for 2 weeks because you hit it too hard, you committed at too high of a level, and you cannot maintain that. And then you realize, like, oh, this sucks. I don't want to do this anymore. So
Yeah.
I agree with you. Commit within your comfort range. Find your comfort range and push it a little bit. You have to hit that boundary and then push through it at a more comfortable pace. You can't just dedicate to a 5 a.m. workout before work and then go work a 12-hour laborious day, because then work's going to suck. And at the end of the day, you kind of have to prioritize paying your bills. So if work starts to suck, you start to suffer in your performance at work, you're going to start getting in trouble, potential write-ups, showing up late, and it's just going to be stone after stone for you to trip over, and that's that much more of a reason to leave it behind you. Yeah, find a small gym where it's conveniently nearby. The type of people there are your type of people. They're going to take care of you. They're going to prioritize you, your journey. You're you're just hmm, getting a little off in the weeds. Yeah, just find
No,
find a gym.
you're not.
I lost my train of thought. So yeah, you're definitely going to want to find a gym that's right down the road, within means, and something that's going to match up with your day-to-day schedule and aligns with your energy level. So just because 5 a.m. might make sense for your work schedule, is there anywhere else throughout the day you can move your gym time? You see what I'm saying? Like if
Mhm.
5 a.m. makes sense, but yet you're not used to waking up at 5 a.m., you're more likely to hit snooze, snooze, snooze until you have 30 minutes to get ready for work. There's no way you're going to work that workout in.
No, I agree, and, so one of the things that I tell people whenever they come in and talk to me too is, like and it's they're like you, they're gung ho. They're like I'm like, "How many days can you commit to training?" And not training with me, but training in general. 5, man, I'm good. So, and I'll tell them, I'll be like, hey, let's pump the brakes. Look, if it's 3, it's 3. Whatever it takes to, like, if it's 1, it's 1. If it's 2, it's 2. And I will tell them, no, you got to do it. If you want to truly get physiological benefits from it, then you're going to need to commit to at least 3 days a week. Any movement is better than nothing. But
Mm,
let's be real, dude. Coming in 1 day a week, you're not going to get any progress. But again, any movement is better than nothing. So if that's what it takes to get you going, cool. But yeah, like, hey, it has to make sense to your work. It has to make sense to your personal life, So, if it's not 5 days a week, it's not 5 days a week. Let's just figure out what actually is going to make sense for your schedule. Okay, cool.
don't be afraid to be judged. Everybody in there is wanting to, better themselves. You're not going to stick out. So I guess we can fine tune it and circle back around to the gym because we did kind of get off into the weeds. We jumped back towards the motivation part of
Yeah.
things. So we'll get it. We'll eventually get to a point to where we're making decent scripts, and I can start making these points and send them to you, and then you can use Chat GPT again.
That's why I told you, dude, I promise by the end of this weekend, we will have a shared Google Docs account because then anytime you make a change, it's in there. When I open it up on my end, what you've done is done. When I make changes, when you open it up, it's what's done is done. So then it's whatever's being changed, we continuously have, and then we can just open it up
Mhm.
and read the doc or the what we've created throughout the week while we're doing our thing. So I'll get it. That's on me, bro. It's not on you.
Copy. All right. So
All right.
let's
So what do you?
want to up at find a gym.
Then that's what we've been talking about, right?
Right. Right. Start
But yeah, let's talk. I see what you're saying.
the schedule that is easy to follow. Try not to jump at the 5 a.m. Okay, we can jump into what to eat
Okay.
if you want, or we can jump ahead.
No, we can touch base on what to eat.
We can actually jump ahead to understanding realistic goals.
I like that. I'd like for you to touch base on the social media thing, dude. I think that's kind of important,
So I
especially
think
for somebody that's just getting started or
right.
restarting the journey.
Let's do understanding goals because I
Okay.
feel like we kind of already have a flow in that direction, and then we can wrap back around to social media.
Cool. I like that.
So, and let's not name drop because I'm more so saying that to me. I don't want to name drop because
Okay.
for some reason we find ourselves Joe
Well,
Rogan level in
I
10
so
years.
I agree with you, man.
Shit.
For professional reasons, there should be no name dropping.
So, but all right, I'm gonna mark it, and we could pick back up on understanding realistic goals. So yeah, understanding realistic goals is another step right after finding your gym, finding your flow, what's gonna keep you motivated, finding your gym, and keeping it going. So understanding realistic goals. One of the things that what I always start with that whenever I'm talking to somebody first getting started or getting back into it is you have your why, you found your gym. What's your what? What are you trying to do? Is it an aesthetic, tapered waist, big shoulders? Are you looking for a more functional strength? Are you looking for just a better quality of life and day-to-day living? And I feel if it's not just tripping over tiny little stones and not figuring out a rhythm of things that keeps people from getting into it, it's they're not getting the results that they think that they need. They are comparing themselves to guys or girls on social media, and we'll touch on that later. But they see these super shredded, big beefed up people competing on bodybuilding stages, and they're like, I can do that in 3 months. I just
Uh,
did I did an entire month of hard, heavy workouts. I'm sore. I feel like I'm falling apart. The scale has only dropped down a couple of pounds. This isn't worth it. So, any advice you can give on understanding realistic goals?
so yes, from experience, and everybody's different, man. And
Yes.
I can look at long-term goal and be like, "Oh shit, that's where I need to go." And I'm good at doing that, but I have found that other people work better if they have a short-term goal,
Right.
little micro goals leading up to the overall, the macro, the big picture. And so the people that get upset with, so let's say that you lose 3 pounds in a month. Okay.
Mhm.
Meaning a client loses 3 pounds in a month. That's freaking spectacular.
Yeah.
That is sustainable, healthy weight loss. but they're looking at, I want to lose 30 overall. So that 3 might be in the grand scheme of things because they're thinking when you come in and talk to them and they're in that consultation and the ultimate goal is 30 pounds. And then after only 1 month, they lose 3. It's like, oh, well, that sucked.
I've got so far to go. They're
Taking
looking at the
that
top of the mountain and not the step in front of them.
Yeah, so take that big goal and say, "Okay, dude, 30 is great." Realistically, we need to plan on losing anywhere from 1 to 2 pounds of weight per month or per week. So then I would say, so let's, set our goal a little bit in the middle so that way if we overshoot, badass, but if we hit that goal, then okay,
Right.
cool, we hit it. And so that's what I would take that. So that 3 pounds in the grand scheme of things, like, even though we're working towards 30, if you have those micro goals set up, like, hey, this month, let's focus on losing 3 to 5 pounds.
Mhm.
And that individual hits that 3 pounds, cool. They're not down on themselves. They hit that goal.
Right.
So then spread those small goals out leading up to whatever the overall outcome is. Now, and I would say that's probably just for like the average person, because I've had people come into the gym and be, really out of shape. And they were like, I want to do a bodybuilding show in 6 months. I'm like, let's pump the brakes. We got a lot of work to do. Let's go.
Mhm. Yeah, well, so you've got your people that are like that, they're you think in your head like, "Okay, man, I've seen so many clients come through that were a lot closer to that goal than you that didn't make it past the first couple of steps and backed off, and now you're telling me like, "Okay, hold on, back off," but then they push back and say, "No, I mean this." And
Yeah.
you would think the same thing I'm thinking, yeah, right. I've seen it. I've done this song and dance before. All right, we'll try. All right, dude. I'm gonna hit it as hard as you hit it. Here's, everything you need. Let's get started. And then at the end of, 3, 5, 6 months, they're there. They went through with it. So I mean, there are some people out there that when they say they're gonna do it, they freaking do it. But
Man, I
they're willing
I
to
agree with
yeah.
you 100%, dude. And if you get somebody that and there's a couple things that usually just align right for those individuals that I think what you're talking about is someone that comes in and says, "No, this is my goal. I'm gonna freaking hit it," and they do.
Mm,
So let's just say that that's somebody that wants to work on their physique, okay?
mhm,
And they want to do like a transformation, like within 5 months, they want to go from 20% body fat to like, 10 or 8 or just 10 or lower.
mhm.
And I know an individual like that. So do you, who I just got done working with.
Right.
I think that whenever dudes or ladies come in with that goal, if they are financially in a place that they have the funds to do so, and I would also say, when it comes to career wise, they're in a place in their career where they can, work their own hours and put that time in, then I think that, hitting major goals is doable for certain people. And I don't want this to sound bad, but I think for the average person
Right.
that works full time or is a full time mom or whatever, not everybody has 2 hours, 5 days a week to like
Mhm.
go into the gym and hit it hard and like do a 4 or 5 month transformation. And
That's the direction I'd like to see this channel go is kind of geared towards the average person. I mean, yes, if you are a goal driven person that, you're just a lunatic, man. You wake up, you set your mind to
yes,
something, you hit it, yes, stick around, listen. We want you guys to listen too, but I do want to focus on that construction worker that just doesn't know how to start, that mom that's wanting to get back into it, that person that
mhm,
had the heart attack scare. But, I want to really gear towards them. And, when it comes to understanding realistic goals, man, just start. Get into the gym. We've covered that already. If it's 3 pounds a week or 3 pounds a month, 3 pounds a month, you're looking at 3, 6, 9, that 12 pounds in 4 months. By the end of the year, you do the math, you're at your goal. That's
yeah,
big,
it is
especially when
big.
you do it at a spot that pushes your resistances, your day-to-day living. You push that threshold just a little bit, but it doesn't make you wake up in the morning and think, man, screw this. I'm going to do that again tomorrow. you're hitting your little goals, your schedule's not completely flipped upside down, and you're making progress. That's where you start. Dude, if it's something as simple as you start a gym, you don't have the funds to do personal training or more personalized coaching, and you don't know where to start once you get in the gym, everybody knows how to walk. Walking is so underrated, and it's one of the best things you could do. For one, if you don't have a gym, it's free to do. Just get out on the street and walk. You get to the gym because you have bitter. Get on the treadmill. Pop a couple of buttons. It's pretty simple. You could figure it out. Get the treadmill moving. Walk for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes. When you get off, if you are dog tired afterwards, because that's where your threshold is, go home. Come back tomorrow and do it again. Do that until you either get get the nerve, the guts, the courage to get out onto the gym floor and try some things that you've seen other people doing, stuff you're seeing on the internet, or your energy levels raised. Then you take that next step. You start small, little steps at a time. I said it earlier. Too many people are focused at the peak of the mountain and not the stair step in front of them. One
Well,
step at a time.
let me ask you a question. And you've been in this situation, and that's kind of like how you and I met, because you just came up to me one day and started talking to me. But now, being that I've been resistance training for so long, but like going on 8 years, like disciplined, steady, 8 years now,
Mhm.
and competing, and now being a gym owner for 3 years and working with several successful clients. What are your thoughts on people that have no experience needing a trainer, or not needing a trainer? So what do you think about that?
Starting off, I don't know. I kind of straddle the fence on this one.
Okay.
I feel like personal trainers and coaches are absolutely necessary, but as necessary as they are, I feel like they're overhyped in another way. So, like I said before, walking, it's free, man. Don't go dump, hundreds of dollars a month if you can't afford it to go walk. But
Hmm.
at the same time, you're eventually going to hit a spot where you do need more guidance. You need more experience. Where, especially if your information's coming from social media or all of these big names that's, just info dumping left and right, and you just don't know where to go. This person says do this. This person says that same thing is bad. You don't know how to navigate that. Well, the person with the education, the experience, and the background behind it, talk to them, hire them, pay them. They are going to get you to that next level. Getting into the gym and getting started, that's going to cost you what your gym membership costs. You can get progress that way. Get in, get started. You're eventually going to get to a spot to where if you want to go further, lose more, build more muscle, be more functional, just be more. For most people, which was me, I needed somebody. I met you. When I met you, I was up and down. I had tried fad diets. I had starved myself. I did some common sense approach, and my progress was up and down. And then all the lifting advice I was getting off of the internet, dude, I hit so much progress, and no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't break through it because of just so much information was out there. I didn't know who was right. I mean, and then I needed somebody to shine a light in the dark and pave a pathway for me. And I looked over, and I had eyes on you for a little while. You were a pretty interesting person because you were really big. I mean, you could just look at somebody in whatever setting and know, like, okay, they stand out. They know what they're doing. They're they know what I need to know. I need to learn that. Struck up conversation with you one day. I had seen you go from one of the biggest guys in the gym to competition ready. It's like, okay, I like both ways that he looked. He can get me to one or the other. I'm okay with either one of them. He knows something I don't. And yeah, the rest is history, man. I hired you, and I've gotten big and I've gotten strong. I have seen max reps shoot way up. We just stepped on stage in 2024. I did for the first time, placed really well, and just staying by your side and listening to you. I've learned a whole lot. So, but yes, I got off in the weeds, but
No, I,
yeah,
I want everybody to that listens to this to know that Jared's my homie. I didn't ask him that question so he could like try to,
no,
build
it's
us up or anything like that. He actually went like in a way separate direction than I thought he was, but I'm glad that you did, dude.
well,
Um,
it.
I honestly, so like now I was like you. But again, dude, you were in the military, and I
Yeah,
don't know if you played sports in high school
I
before
did.
you were in the military. So you kind of had that some structure and an idea of what you needed to do based on that. And then you were like me, same, before I started doing this and working on my education and getting my master's, I had hit a plateau too and was like, and Carlos was like, you need a coach. Call this guy. He's really good. And then yes, I agree with you that I think that trainers or coaches or whatever you want to label them, I think they're good at several different points
Mhm.
throughout your health and fitness journey. And now being at the side of it that I'm on, gym owner, and seeing a lot of people that have no experience at all, or
Yes.
it's been decades since they were in high school. I
Mhm.
tell people a lot, especially clients that I work with me, spend the investment up front. Work with the trainer for about 2 to 3 months. Let's talk programming. Let's talk about why we're doing what we're doing. Let's make sure that you have the basics, the foundation built for moving forward first, and then I'll cut you loose. So give me three
Mhm.
months to work with you, teach you the gym, teach you why you're doing things, et cetera, et cetera. And then so that because dude, I've seen people come in even to the iron rack that again didn't follow through with the consultation. So they had it set, they never came through, they canceled or whatever. And then you see them, they don't have a plan, they really don't know what they're supposed to be doing. They may come and sit and do a little bit of bench press, and then they may go sit and do some arms and triceps and look around. But they usually the ones that do that are the ones a lot of times I see fail because they get upset because they don't know what they're doing. They're not seeing results. I think there's two parts to it. If you're just getting started and it's been a while, I recommend getting a trainer to help you get through the beginning stages and get your feet wet. And then later on down, if you're not getting the results you want or you've plateaued or you want to take it to the next level and you can't, then go talk to somebody also.
So, yeah, you're absolutely right, and I'm not undermining coaches or trainers, uh, at all. They're extremely necessary in key points. Whatever walk of life you're in, you're eventually going to need one, or it would be in your best interest anyways to get one if you're trying to chase a goal. Like you said, you're in there, you've never been in there before, you don't know the first thing about it. You know what? It wouldn't be the worst idea to get with a coach or a trainer and speak to them about different structures. Just some people don't understand some of the most basic things of overtraining. They might only understand curls and bench press. So now they go 5 times a week because they're really motivated. Well, now they're jacking up their chest and their biceps because they're not doing anything else. So, yeah, definitely figuring out a basic structure. Consult with a trainer for sure. But at the same time, I love what you said. Get with you. That way you could teach them. Teach them. There are so many trainers out there that I know personally that are great people. They do have their clients' best interest in mind. Those are the guys that I'm going to exclude from this next statement. Be careful what type of clients you go or what type of trainers you decide to use because some of them are going to do their best to keep you in the dark, to keep you coming back. They
Yeah,
don't want you to learn more than them.
well, you got a good point, dude. And so yeah, everybody that I work with, I'm like, dude, look, my goal is to teach you what you need so you can do this without me. Like I'm
Exactly.
wanting to educate you. I'm gonna go a little bit deeper on this, and I'm not a snob, but also be careful. Like if you go to a big box gym, you are probably gonna get a trainer that has just got their certificate. Maybe not. They have different levels, so you can kind of
Yeah.
tell, but you may be working with somebody that really doesn't know too much about what they're doing, doesn't have the experience of truly helping people. And they think that training somebody, regardless if you're 20 years old or 60 years old, six with the zero, they're going to train you like a bodybuilder because they think that that's what everybody wants. And unfortunately, again, some of the older clients that I have, that was their first and last and only gym experience until they came to the iron rack, and it was horrible. Like, you take a 60-year-old lady and start training her like a bodybuilder. It's not going to happen. So anyway, when you talk to a trainer, make sure that they understand your wants, your needs. Ask them a little bit about their program design, what they're going to do for you, how they're going to help you meet your goals. And ask them about education and experience also, like, how long have they been doing it? Yeah. So
Absolutely.
don't just dive into somebody because the price is right. And you're like, oh, because
Or
I'm a
they
firm
know
believer you
more
get
than
what you
you.
pay for.
Or if they know more than you. I mean, I've fallen for that once before. Somebody had there's a saying for people that do this. They use an advanced vocabulary, but they make no real points, and all they do is confuse the ignorant. So
Yeah.
making no points, they're confusing you. They're making it sound like they know everything, but to somebody that knows something, if you listen to them, they don't know
They
a
use
lot.
big fancy words to make yourself sound like a subject matter expert.
Right. So
Shit, you
definitely
talk to me, I'm staying away from the big fancy words because I'm just gonna sound like a dumbass, man.
just man, I don't know. I don't know. Kind of clip
That's
that because
cool.
we're getting a
That's
little.
no, I agreed with your answer from the beginning. I did want to take it a little bit further for, like you said, the people that the audience that we're really trying to reach out to and help that want to get started but don't know where. If you don't know anything, I do recommend getting with an experienced trainer for at least maybe your first month. Purchase 4 to 8 sessions with them,
Mhm.
get a feel for like just proper mechanics and things like that. So that way you don't injure yourself when you do get in there and you have an idea of what you should be doing instead of spinning your wheels. 'Cause I can't tell
Absolutely.
you, I've got a couple pro bono clients that I do in the gym, good people, because I watch them spin their wheels for months, doing stuff that they've seen on social media. I'm not being I have transformation photos of these people, and I do this a couple times throughout the year and made huge progress, just actually like,
Mhm.
saying, "Hey, do what I tell you to do. Stop the BS that you're watching," and then they start making real progress, so
Right. No, that's I love that you bring that up because the next point that I feel like needs to be discussed is, be careful what social media you consume. I'm looking through my notes here, figuring out where it is. There it is. Yeah. So now you've got your why, you've got your where, you've got your what. You know what types of coaches or trainers you need, at what points you should consider getting them, what type of qualifications you need to consider. Take a look. Do they have clients with before and afters? And also listen to your coach. Like, there comes a point where you need to question your coach or trainer. But once you've made up your mind on, all right, this is the person, stop questioning at that point. I mean,
Oh,
I'm
no,
not
no, no, dude,
questions.
you are right. You're right. You're hiring that person for their expertise and to help you get there.
Mhm.
I encourage questions. Hey, if you
Yes.
got a question, freaking ask me. Because again, I want you to understand why we're doing what we're doing. So that way, at some point, you can do it on your own.
Yes. So, but when I say stop asking questions at a certain point, I don't mean your basic, you
No,
know,
no, no, no. I know. I'm sorry. I got off. So, I honestly don't like working with dudes that are middle aged like me in their 40s to 50s
because they know
because they've
more.
been doing the same thing wrong for so long
Mhm.
that when I try to, I'm like, you hire me to try to help you change your physique. But when you've been doing 3 sets of 10 for 4 years with the same weight with no progressions, and I say, okay, you know what? We're going to change something. And instead of doing 3 sets of 10, we're going to work on 12 to 18, and we're actually going to do 4 sets. Ask me why, but don't ask me like, well, I don't ever thought I've been doing this for my way. Yeah, look how you look. You've been doing it your way for 5 years and you look the exact same.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, I don't, I don't know if that's where you're going with that or
That's the stop questioning your coach.
yes, you're paying me to help you. Just do what I ask you to do.
Right.
Ask me a question if it relates to why we're actually doing it, but not because it's hurting your ego
That you
because
were
we are
wrong
switching
before.
things up. Yeah.
Yes. See, I hired you because I knew I was wrong. I was hoping you were right, man. The
And
questions that
you
I asked
and
was
you
because
even and you would ask me questions. Hey, what do you think about doing this? And I'm like, no, dude. I mean, it's a great question, but I've got your program laid out for you because we're already hitting this, this,
Mhm.
and this. Just trust me and trust the process. And one of them was your legs. Like this was a long time ago. You were still down in Harlingen or Corpus Christi. You're like, man, I feel like my legs. And I'm like, bro, your legs are gonna and your legs have gotten substantially bigger and they look great. But anyway,
I need new
but
jeans. Thanks to
you
you.
didn't
Blame
you
you.
didn't ask the question for ego. You asked the question because, well, one, you wanted to work on your legs, and when I gave you a legitimate reason and said, "Hey, we have your programming based on this. There's a reason why we're doing it. Don't worry." You were like, "Okay, cool. I'm gonna trust you."
Honestly, that's when I got the most progress is I decided to stop questioning. And so when I say don't like, question here, don't question there, so on and so forth, this is coming from experience. I did this. Hopefully I can save somebody some heartache if they're going to listen to this. Do what your coach says. Once you decided to make the decision. Once you decided to make that initial payment, your homework on this person should have already been done.
Yeah, I
Listen
agree.
to them.
And
Listen
you've already
if you decide to try to take it into your own hands at this point, your failure is on you, and you paid somebody else just for you to fail and it be your own fault. That just is like,
so, dude. So I know I said I don't like working with dudes in their 40s, but I have had 3 very successful male clients, dude. All of them you know or have seen at one point. One of them was online and you introduced him to me. And I think that once he started seeing the progress, he was like, all right, I'm gonna shut the hell up and just do what the dude tells me to do.
yeah. So
But hold up. So, but I'm going, damn it. Now I don't know where I was going with that, dude. Um, well, it's not that I don't, because the ones that actually listen and say, okay, I'm paying you because I obviously am stalled out. Oh, that's where I was going with that. Is one of my clients who became very successful, who's going to compete with us next year. I was like, dude, if you don't do what I tell you to do, you have nobody to blame but yourself. But
yeah,
if you do what I tell you to do and it still doesn't work, then you can come and blame me.
yep. So well, and this is a good time to roll over. I tried to do that. We redirected for a lot of good stuff was said. So a big reason as to why I personally questioned you and went against the grain and he was like, oh, he doesn't know what he's talking about. And I feel like a lot of other people are doing this as well is the social media they consume. Being careful what social media you consume. So the reason it was bugging me was I said at another point in this recording, this person says this person says this person is stupid. This person says this person doesn't know what they're talking about. You need to do this, and the science backs this. Well, now there's science that's backing this other thing, and then it just creates a paralysis to where you don't go anywhere because you don't know what is right and what is wrong.
Yeah.
That's where you get your coach that comes in. So some key points on being careful what type of social medias you consume is there are, let's see, what do I have typed out here? Covered that, watch out for channels that fearmonger foods. It's when you go to channels that talk about, oh, don't eat this because cake is bad for you. Don't eat eggs because the cholesterol in an egg is bad for you. So don't eat a Debbie snack because it'll make you fat. Be careful with food channels that tell you what not to eat. Try not to do that because I've learned over time it's not the food that makes you fat. It's
It's the
the
amount.
amount of calories you
Yeah.
overeat that does that to you. I can eat a honey bun every day if my calories allow it. If my caloric intake is high enough to where I have a little bit of freedom, is it the best thing to do? No, but it's not going to make me fat. One of the biggest things about keeping your journey going and keeping it strong is going to be having a healthy relationship with food. Social media
Mhm.
platforms and social media content creators can very easily stray you away from a healthy mindset.
Yeah.
Pizza's bad for you. Oh, well, I've been doing really good with tracking my macros, doing everything my coach is saying, and now my family is doing a social get together. I have the freedom. I am allowed a cheat day or cheat meal, and I'm choosing pizza. Well, this person's saying it's going to give me cancer. It's going to make me bloat.
Hey, that's extreme.
There, that's what's out there, man. So definitely stay away from social medias that are gonna fearmonger foods because look, man, food is good. So
Food
much of
is
our
good,
culture
man. And
revolves around food.
I agree with you, man. I mean, I think that, and maybe you did that. Maybe you did it, dude, because you've always liked food, and I like food too. But I think that, like, when I first started working with my first coach, I was like extremely strict for 3 years. For like 3 years, I was like, no, dude, chicken rice, and make sure blah blah blah. Now, when it comes to contest prep and that prep date comes around, bam, dude, I'm a
That's
machine.
that's a
I'm not
different
touching anything.
yeah, that's
And I'm not
totally different.
saying like I go buck wild right now, but I do enjoy food and I do try to preach to clients, dude, build a relationship with food. Food is not bad. You just need to learn how to control yourself. And if you're counting calories and macros, you need to know what those are so you can fit those in and still be under your calories and hit what you need for your macros and not worry about a damn thing. So
Yeah,
yeah, have a good relationship with food, man. And then on the flip note of that, you know, you're watching people on social media who are just freaking shredded because that's what they do. That's sorry, I brain fart. Don't look at that and like don't look at a physique and the number on the scale as the overall metrics for if you're going in the right way. Okay.
mhm,
Are your clothes getting looser? Are you getting stronger? Are you lifting more weight than what you did 1 or 2 months ago when you first came in? Are you starting to see more definition? So there's other ways than just like seeing the number on the scale to like measure your progress and success. And I get people because of what they see on social media get hung up on the scale's not moving. Yeah, but you're pushing 50 more pounds than what you were 2 months ago when we started. How do your clothes feel? Oh, dude, these are actually new. The waist got smaller. Cool. So what's really happening is you're losing fat, but we're building muscle, and that's why your number on the scale is sitting where it's at. So
okay.
don't get caught up on that because of the social media influencers that you see, and also that falls in line with having that good relationship with food. Don't be afraid to enjoy yourself, man. You just may have to make up for it the next day and
Right.
cut something out. It's a numbers game.
See, and that's, another benefit of having a coach that knows the ins and outs of fitness and nutrition. They can help you with that. So, yeah, other channels you would want to stay away from are try to stay away from the drama starting channels. So, there are quite a few. I'm not going to name any names, but if you've been on social media, you'll see where it's, as I referenced before, this person's stupid. No, no, you're stupid. And then it's just a back and forth. And then you get hung up on who's natty, who's not, who's lying about this, who's lying about that. This person said I'm ugly. Well, I said he's stupid. If you just saturate what you're taking in with that type of content, is that really something healthy? Is that something that's going to benefit you? You should be watching other content that's going to motivate you. You should be watching other content that's showing you realistic goals. Somebody that's not
Mm.
fit shaming another person, because the average gym goer is not that. It's just, man, you won't let your kids watch something that's bloody, gory, war-oriented movie as a 6-year-old, right? Because you want to be careful what your child consumes. You yourself should treat your own brain that exact same way. There are content creators that I see them pop up, I block the channel. I block their channel. I don't want it in there. I don't care who's natty. I don't care who's not. I don't care who's lying about it. What I care about is my progress. I love channels that showcases like somebody that's extremely overweight that is taking steps in the right direction, and they'll show me as a 400-pound, middle-aged man what I eat in a day, and it'll show their macro breakdown of what they're eating. And then you go through the comment sections and you see where people are like, oh, you shouldn't be eating this. Here's my 2 cents on that. Oh, this is why you're so fat, so on and so forth. Well, the content creator themselves will step in, and this is like their friend's video they're showcasing. The content creator will step in, the person running the channel, and they'll check people like, no, they've actually lost a lot of weight. They're doing it a healthy way. And I'm giving them a shout out right now because they're 50 pounds down and they did just have to go buy a new wardrobe. Their blood work with the doctor is doing better. Cholesterol is down. They are doing great. I want to see people's success stories. When I see somebody else have a background that wasn't ideal for them to start their journey and they said, you know what, nothing holding me back, and they did it, that's motivating, man, because we all have blocks in the road that we have to overcome. It could be easier for you to overcome something that's hard for me to, but then you have somebody that works full time, is a full time mom, extremely overweight, and just doesn't know anything about anything, but yet they decide, I'm taking steps forward. Nothing's going to hold me back. And then you see it. The little things that they do, they keep ticking forward. those are the social media accounts that I try to consume. Not
Yeah,
the
no, I agree. I mean, I look at a lot of well, Meg and I both look at a lot of like bodybuilders and stuff like that because
mm,
that's what we do. But as far as positive social media, I'm like you, man. I try to find positive influencers. There's a
mhm,
lot of good ones out there.
a
So,
lot of really good ones.
and if you are like new to this, or if you're new to your fitness journey, but you've been looking at a lot of social media and that's why you're like, oh man, I want to do this because you're seeing a bunch of like jack dudes or really nice aesthetic looking women. Know that that took a long time to get there. So again, goals and expectations, have realistic goals and expectations. And that's why I would also recommend following influential influencers, positive influencers. So that way, yeah, you're not seeing just a bunch of BS every day.
So yeah, no, it's social media, man. It's such a it can oversaturate you, and it could steer you in a direction that that's not that's not the direction you should be going. Definitely put positive role models in your life. Bodybuilders' role models are more likely going to be bodybuilders, and just stay away from fear mongering profiles. Stay away from fit shaming profiles. Fit shaming is a
It's
thing.
bad,
You're
dude.
doing as
Everybody's there
much
to
as
get
me.
started, man.
You're not as
Hey,
good as me.